You're listening to United We Scan podcast. The views and opinions expressed are not that of the United States Postal Service or the National Rural Letter Carriers Association. If you are in need of assistance pertaining to the rural craft, please contact your local steward or assigned district representative. Thank you.
And welcome back. We took a week off for that football game last week, but we're back today. We are double digits today, episode 10, and the regular crew is here. Why don't you go ahead and say hi, Mike?
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
How was your week, Mike?
Let's see. This past week wasn't too bad. I had an off day on Thursday to go to a meeting, and I was telling you in the pre-show, I am on site for the Kansas Spring Booster meeting.
So if any of you are going to be there tomorrow, say hi to Mike.
Hi,
Josh, how was your week?
Wasn't too horrible. Finally got them to start printing the end of run report. Now I just have to get them on doing the radar report.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Bill, how was it? How was your week?
I loved it. It was a 4-day work week. Except for Monday, every day was light. We're getting minimal Amazon like everybody else. And, our management hit a new low for intelligence.
Is that possible?
Every time I think that they can't, they prove me wrong.
Every time you think when you think they've hit the bottom of the hole, they continue to dig.
All right, I'll give you one quick example. Every day a carrier takes mail and parcels to the back of the office, which is 250 feet away, because the prison on his route picks up the mail and they have to go through it and everything. She told him that they're not measuring that because it's not that type of count.
No, I would have to intercede on that.
I would have to agree with that, because isn't that at least miscellaneous time?
Yep.
Yes, it is. And I have to do an infrequent basis. I have to do a PDI on Tuesday with him because he looked at her and said, "Are you fucking stupid?"
Oh my God.
And the answer is yes, she is.
Yes.
I get that. It was a very light week in my office this week as well. Ran my ox route 3 days this week for a change, on top of helping out the newbies. Yeah, that's been my week. I didn't have any Amazon on the 48K I ran yesterday, though I do know we have a contractor delivering Amazon up in that area, only because I was like, oh, there's my Amazon packages as I'm dropping off something else or driving past a house. But yeah, it was pretty light this week too, so I'm interested to see what Tuesday's going to hold for me on that 48K.
Don't worry, those Amazon packages will be bad.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, I've ran into the guy once. I didn't get a chance to talk to him. He was getting back into his pickup truck that just had Amazon parcels tossed into the bed, not covered at all. I do live in northern Michigan. We do get snow. We did get rain. We got 7 to 8 inches that fell on us Thursday night. It happens. Driving down the road sideways in an LLV yesterday, that's always fun. Because it wasn't plowed yet. But yeah, that was my week.
So do we think that, I was trying to describe this to somebody else, that when we hear mail count or mail survey and people start thinking, oh, mail count, and that the same old games they used to play in preparation for the mail count are going to be played, i.e., parcels get diverted to our competition, flats dry up, and the DPS comes in light and pristine.
That's what it looks like is happening. Although the parcels isn't really going to matter.
Well, none of it actually will matter.
I know, but yeah, I kind of have already noticed a difference in the DPS a little bit the last few days. I mean, it has been lighter, but it has been a little bit more pristine. We did have, I think Tuesday, there was a mailer that went out from one of the local grocery stores, and every single piece of that was upside down. And 3/4 of them were insufficient addresses. But after that, yeah, I think as we come into this last week before the survey starts, we're going to see our mail getting, I think they're going to turn the speed down on those machines just a little bit. And we're going to be seeing stuff come in looking a lot neater than it has up until. I can totally see that.
Although I will say,
I will be happy for that 2 weeks then.
Right.
If they do actually run it 3 or 4 times instead of the twice they've been running it the last couple years, I will be in heaven.
Although I will say, I have noticed more. This last week, I've had 3 or 4 occasions where parts of the DPS have been jammed in the sorting machine.
Yeah.
So you get the rubber dust and the burnt up looking and crumpled mail,
and the ripped open envelopes, and yeah. I love delivering that when they're standing at the mailbox going, "This looks a little ripped up." Yeah, that's how it came to me.
Yeah,
sorry.
It sure is. Yep.
That's just how I pulled it out of that DPS. Sorry. Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I mean, especially those of us that have been around for previous actual mail counts, are we overthinking this?
Oh, God, yes.
What it's supposed to be? I mean, I've been through 2-3 mail counts, I want to say, personally. Yeah, I can see, I could see where people are overthinking it, but it'll be interesting to see how this actually goes. And I'm curious what evaluations will end up turning out to be.
Yeah, well, I figure at this point I'm in a no harm, no foul situation.
Yeah.
If, the fearmongers are right and everyone's dropping 2 hours, that puts me down to a 46, so I'm safe.
Yeah, we got some of those routes, though. We don't want to see them drop down that low.
If it goes how I think it might, I'm getting cut anyway. I'm already over 48.
I think the ones that I can see that are actually going to lose the hours are those ones that had Amazon at the last count 5 years ago and no longer have it. I think those are the ones we're going to see, but I think in those majority of those offices that got Amazon after the last mail count, like mine in particular, I can see probably breaking even, maybe a little increase, just because the mail volumes drop so much.
Right. Well, you know what though? I agree. I agree with you to an extent, but it's the ones that aren't doing the scans except for the 6 mandatory.
Yes, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
I've been trying to remember the postage due ones. That's my biggest one. But the unscannable parcels and especially trips to the door. I am right on that trip to the door one. That I don't think I've ever missed one on that one. But yeah, I can. Yeah, if you're not doing the extras, do get
most of mine, but I'll admit I am Sometimes I'm a little forgetful and or lackadaisical about some of the scans.
Uh-huh.
However, like I said, at this point, I'm not overly worried about it because of where my route is right now.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't be like that, but I'm confident my route's gonna stay about the same.
Yeah.
Our DR has told us, North Carolina district has 4,400 routes, give or take.
Yep.
She gets a scan report every day from district. In the last 3 weeks or so, there has been no less than 1,400 routes that only had the 6
scans.
Scans.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, there'll be on occasion some days where you don't have anything extra.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You said in the last 3 weeks, there was one day where it was 2,500.
Wow.
That's more than half. That's more than 50%. So you're saying, in a 2 to 3 week period, the smallest number of routes that only had 6 was 1,400. That's 25% on an average, because 25% of the North Carolina district, which I'm sure transcends across the country, between all the districts that are not doing anything but the 6 mandatory, and in some cases there's routes that aren't doing that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
I think the nice thing though is when people figure it out what they're supposed to be doing, what they should have been doing all along, that it should, it won't take but maybe 6 months to really build the route back up. Just
it'll take the full year. It'll take till this time next year.
Yeah.
But in September count and October effective date, they'll see an increase.
Yeah.
So if they go from, and I'm just picking numbers here, they go from a 45 down to a 41 now. In September, October, they'll recoup to like a 43.
Yeah.
And then next March, they'll be back to that 45. If they actually start doing everything they're supposed to.
But I do extra scans, because I have certain spots that I just can't do, like it's a double CBU, and I just can't seem to get it done a lot of days without making at least 2 trips. Right. One for parcels, one for mail. And then I had the customer last week who got 10 big boxes from Academy Sports that I had to take them all to the door, and it took me 6 trips.
Yep.
Right.
And I did also, and I scanned them all at the door like you're supposed to, but escape out R9, number of trips 6, boom. What was the other one I had recently? I guess that's it. And then just remembering to do unscanned parcel if you have a vacation hold you're taking out.
Oh, yeah. I remembered that yesterday. They had a big bundle of mail going out. And I did...
I had 2.
I did let, the carriers reminded them that if it's 8 pieces or more in that hold mail going out, it is an unscannable parcel.
Yep.
Yes.
I had 2 yesterday. I have 2 that I bundled up for delivery tomorrow because people have been going on their spring break vacations. They're starting to trickle their way back.
Now here's a
and
good
what's
one.
Nice.
If hold mail is 8 pieces or more going out as an unscannable parcel, what about those houses that we get 2 to 3 handfuls of DPS a day? And they get all the flats, they get 12 to 30 pieces of flats a day, day. Or I know of a couple of them on a couple different routes I run, man. It literally you're just grabbing handfuls until you stop seeing his mail.
Oh yeah, I get the customers that I'm sitting there at the CBU going through their mail, and you just get to the point you're like, oh, F it, find the last piece. And
yes.
And then the next day they're like, oh, this isn't mine. It's like, yeah, I know. I got tired of going through the other 2 inches of mail you had. I couldn't hold it in my hands anymore.
Right.
So
Well, like, before we went on, we were discussing the end of run report, and like my one large company, that corporation had, what was it? That end of run that I shared with you guys, they had 3,400 pieces that day,
Yep.
which was actually a lighter day for them recently. I think one day last week they had 11,000 and change. So, but it's, when you're saying they have like that, the 3 inches of mail and or flats, that puts, that's a little bit of a gray area there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because it's just, that's the volume of mail that they get on a regular basis. It's not like they went on hold and they came back a week later and they had
yeah,
50 pieces of mail.
Yeah, it's different if it's the kind of people Kristen said, those kind of customers where they get that kind of volume every day because you're delivering it every day, as opposed to these people have been out of town for 10 days and they built up that volume of mail over 10 days.
Oh, and one of those guys, and when one of those households goes on hold for a week and they have 2 tubs of mail to deliver after that 1 week because they get that much mail every day.
Yep.
And it's all
You see, in that case, personally, in that case, I would take 2 unscanned parcels if it's 2 tubs.
If it's 2 tubs, 2 unscanned parcels, plus a miscellaneous trip to the door, I'm thinking.
Yep.
As long as they didn't have any parcels to scan.
Yeah.
Right, because then you would get the door credit anyway.
Yep.
And as unscanned parcel, you're scanning it to the door anyway.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I'm wondering if I could take a 2K hit. Well, a 2-hour hit on me takes me from a 45 to a 43.
Ouch.
And that's where when I took the route over, that's what I started at. It was a 43, and then we lost FSS, and I went up 2 hours. So, but I have not my whole route, but I have sections of my route that get lots of parcels. So, and I have individuals who just seem to get lots of parcels every day.
It's the same ones every day.
Yep. Same ones. Yep. It's gotten to the point that I sometimes, I'll see the kind of parcel it is, and I bet I know where this goes, and 9 times out of 10 I'm right.
Before.
This looks like it's a bundle of CD media mail. I bet it's CDs. Yep, that goes to 144th Court.
I've got court. One guy on one of the routes I run that orders vinyl records. So every time I'm on that route and I'm like, I see the boxes, the vinyl records come in, and I'm like, I know instantly who that goes without even looking at the address. We've got some of those. I got one on my one primary who I think she personally keeps Macy's in business.
Yeah.
And those damn orange Temu packages, man. I am over those.
Oh my God. That's new, and I've got a Temu.
You got a Temu junkie?
I have a Temu junkie. Just like at my old office up in Iowa, I used to have Zulily. I used to call them the Zulily ladies because my God, every day that I would sub on this route, I always had 10 boxes from Zulily, and it was always the same people. Let's be correct here. Okay, no, they were ladies. They were all for women. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, or the Stitch Fix ones. I get the same ones with Stitch Fix.
Oh, Stitch Fix, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Yep. You see that orange bag in there, and it's like, on one route, it's one of two houses because they're the ones that order it. I know that one day I was working my primary, and I had
mine's probably the same, but it hasn't clicked in on which house exactly it is yet. You know what I mean? I can't identify. Oh, that's definitely that house.
Oh no!
When I see the T-move.
Yeah, we've
got
a few.
I know my.
But I have a few that I know with their ordering.
Yep. I got a vinyl collector. I've got one guy who gets a lot of CDs. I don't know what he gets in them, but he gets lots of CDs, little packages of CDs. I got a couple of Temu people. BarkBox. I know all my BarkBox is like one of 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
But I've been saying for the last, to talk about Wrecs again, I've been seeing for at least the last month, I don't seem to have as many like highs and lows in my parcels. I mean, tomorrow will be an exception, obviously, because of the holiday. But I've been my total parcel, or my total scans anyway. My total scans seems to be met in about the 100 to about 125. And if I look at my count paperwork for my 4241, or the 4241 from the last count on my route, it looked like it was 86. So
that's good.
A little higher than normal, a little higher than from what my route was counted at.
But not enough to make that much of a difference.
Yeah. Well, 20 a day. And that was, but you have to remember the old count standard on parcels.
Yep.
This is everything with, that, and that everything with the barcode is a parcel now. We're not arguing over the, right. you can fit this non-bottle end of the pill of the thing that's got the pills in it in your case, so it's a flat. No more of that crap.
Yep, if it's got a scan, it's a parcel. It just depends on where you deliver it, and that's the credit for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And that's the same thing. Our tubs. I don't know about y'all, but our tub flats. That's where we get all of our license plates.
Ours still come through the parcels.
Well, ours come through from the plant in the flats tubs. In fact, we have to do clerk work because, for some reason, they're not getting when they come in the tubs, they're not getting the arrival at unit scan. So they were going straight, like from the plant, and then the next scan they would get would be delivery. And I guess that's a ding on the post office.
Yep.
That happens.
If I get a flat,
that's on them, not me.
Well, but we've been ordered now that we have to take those out, and I started doing it like with the stamp orders I get in my tubs. We have to take them back to the clerks and have the clerks run them under the pass scanner so they get the arrival at unit scan.
Yeah, like I said, when I get a scan on a flat, I just whatever clerk, because my office is obviously smaller than your guys' offices, so I just literally turn around and be like, here, scan this real quick for me, and then I'll throw it up in the case. But yeah, I mean, those come in every so often. I mean, there's a tax preparer on one route, so been getting a few of those that come in with the flats. But other than that, yeah, it's remembering the checkbooks and stuff that packages that come in through the parcels that don't get scans and shit like that. So back to these reports. If somebody hasn't seen them, we were kind of discussing what it means on them. On the end of run reports that you can get daily for those counts, there's a lot of questions I've seen for the multi-PT, which Josh was telling us is basically if you have anything listed on your multi-PT column, that's going to be your holdout mail, whether that's a business closed for those businesses that are closed on weekends or whatever day of the week, and you have that mail held out, or S99 mail that's held out would be under the multi-PT. And then you have...
The 999 is the working mail, is the actual raw mail that they have to work and sort out.
But what if that
would...
Because one of our routes, the S999 actually goes right with the DPS to that route. It's not sorted out separately. It's route.
But
just so that I'm,
like,
just
for example,
so I'm clear.
my one company is a large corporation. On the lightest day this past week and a half, since I've actually been getting an end of run, 3,400 pieces was there. So it's set up that it's held out of my DPS in their own trays, listed under the MOO tray for the Mubuku. I know the B is box mail. I guess the M is multi-point. So for my route, it has that listed there on the far end of that multi-point, which it also includes under the cased mail column, which the cased mail column is DPS rejects. Anything the machine kicked out, it's typically the clerks will give you the rubber banded bundle mail.
Yeah.
That's your route.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's already bundled for your route. It used to be carrier routed mail with a tag
Ours still comes
for your
with
route
a tag, but
back in the day.
Ours still comes with a tag.
All right, our
but
plant, our plant stopped tagging them. They just put them all in the tray, and the clerk looks at the first piece and gives it to the correct route.
But that stuff's not going to get counted in the survey, is it?
No, because it's already run on automation, and there's already a number for it.
Yep.
It's already been counted somewhere.
Yep.
So
correct.
It's just like when we sort out the 3M mail, that they bring over the tray of 3M mail from where we place it, and then when they sort through that they put in the little cubbies. Okay, that's what's going to get counted.
Yeah.
Anything if it comes on the tag, if it says in-house, I know the FSS used to have the 999 tag, or in-house work, or it'll say working mail. Anything that's the 5-digit, 4-year zip code, but it's not routed to any particular route. It's for the whole, it's raw working mail that the clerk actually has to sort out to the individual routes.
I have a question.
That's what we're going to get counted for.
I have a question.
Answer. I might have an answer. Well, I have an answer. It might not be the right one, but I have an answer.
So with the 3 zip codes in my office,
Mm-hmm.
The main zip code has the 4 routes. One zip code has the Ox route and the other K route, and the other one, the other zip code is just the big 48K. However, the two zip codes, not the main one, but the 2 other ones are also lock pouches. And I understand all that with dropping it off and mapping. I've been there, done that. But
because I have no clue about lock pouches.
But here's the thing. Now, the flats that come in zip code routed carrier, routes, each route gets its tubs of flats that come in, route sorted, raw.
Right.
Now, the clerks do go through the one for the one zip code that has the 2 routes in the P.O. box. And then the other one, the one that's just the one route, is also a lock pouch. Now, that P.O. box flats, that it comes all intermixed in with that route's flats. And so when we're casing that mail, we're tossing the P.O. box stuff in the tub that we're dropping off there. Why we're casing it. So how is that going to... I think that's something to ask during the steward Zoom training tomorrow, honestly.
Yes. Yep, definitely. I would definitely ask about that. Depending on how it's tagged.
It's tagged to that zip code.
Tagged for the zip code, then it should be sorted, in theory it would be sorted by the clerk. However, since there's only one route in the zip code, they're giving it right to that carrier.
Yes.
So I'm going to presume they would get a piece count for it.
If you handle it, you get credit for it.
That's what I thought. Because, being lock pouch, we put all the P.O. box mail together and take it out anyways. So that's what I'm thinking is because that all would come on the end of run report for that route. Whereas with the other zip code, you've got 2 routes in the P.O. box. So those will get separated.
And then you have the 4 routes and the other one would get separated or sorted and separated.
Yeah, and those are route tagged. So that was just my thing.
Yeah, but you might also get another tub with a few pieces that they have to sort out through the 4 routes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wrong towns too. But yeah.
Well, the other thing too is got to stop too. At least during this survey, is when you get the famous bundle, you break it open and the top piece is for you, and then everything else is for
6 other towns,
other people, other towns or carriers in other routes in your office.
Yep.
I got carriers who will do that and then look up the route and then hand it off to the carrier. And I'm going to tell them, don't give that to me. Go throw it over in the 3M.
Yep.
Give it to the
clerk or let the counter know so you can get credit for it.
I would throw it in 3M. That's what I do. I do that anyway. But I would say, especially during this mail survey, you want to do that.
Yeah.
Because if it happens, if it's my bundle, now I'm going to get credit. I'm going to already get credit for all of the flats in that bundle.
Yep.
But I don't want the other carrier or carriers to lose credit for the raw flats they're going to get out of it.
Right. But it depends if it was a 5-digit, which means that it's not supposed to go to any particular route. Like on the top of the label where it has the route number, it may just say 5-digit. Then the clerk should have
what if it's addressed?
Well, 5-digit just means it's for that zip code.
But what if it's addressed?
What, the pieces will be addressed.
Yeah, so why would they not get credit for raw flats?
That's what I'm saying. You would get credit for raw flats.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. If you have the top 2 pieces of yours and the rest of it's the rest of the routes in the office, you should be getting the credit for those 2 pieces also.
Well, you get credit for the whole bundle.
Yes.
Not if it's a 5-digit. If it's labeled 5, if it's labeled Route 53, then I get credit for it. If it's labeled 5-digit,
but they're not going to be. But they don't have the ability to sort out which is how many pieces you have within. I mean, they can tell you how many pieces are in the bundle, but they can't tell you how many pieces are yours.
That's insane. If on the label at the top where your route number is, if it says 5-digit, your route's not getting credit for it because it's for the whole zip code, not a particular route.
See, now where I'm coming, and I know what Mike's saying because, an instance yesterday, I had the prepackaged bundle of flats. I opened it up. I took the top one off. It was for my route, and it looked just normal as anything else. And Route 11 up on the up there where it is by the address. And then that top one was the only one that went to me. Everything else went to 3 other towns.
Well, yeah, which is a 3-digit.
Our clerks don't look that close at anything else. They just look at what route it goes to. I've had whole bundles of mail that didn't even belong to our office, but because it said Route 4, they tossed it in Route 4's tub.
Yeah.
Right. And ours do the same thing. Like yesterday, I had a bundle that they put in my gurney. It was actually at the bottom of my gurney. But the top piece was mine, but the rest of it was a different zip code. Not even in my building. So, but yeah, that was, I forgot to look at it, but I'm sure it was a 5-digit. So you got, like, for example, for us, there's 3-digit, which is 282, which is anything insured. There's 5-digit, which would be 282XX, a specific zip code. And then there's carrier routed.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that if it's carrier routed, obviously you're getting credit for it. But if it's a 5-digit bundle, that means it's supposed to be worked by the clerks and sorted out.
Clerks don't.
Which means it's not, even though the top, well, that's on them, and that's when you bring it back to them and say, not mine, and Mr. Counter, I need to get credit for these 2 pieces that were in this 5-digit bundle.
Well, hopefully they won't fight us over that, because everything I've been hearing is that as long as you're making, what I heard from our station manager is basically that if you have reasonable requests, that he's not gonna quibble over it.
Well, I can tell you, our DR has said every training that headquarters has put down on the pipeline to management, don't argue with the carriers, give it to them, because it's negligible what they're going to, the effect is negligible.
Yeah.
1 piece of mail, a couple pieces of mail, a couple feet for the walk distances is not going to make or break a route.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because I think with I was just talking to someone the other day, with the walk distance, you need, I think it's like 400 or 500 feet to get a minute.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount. What is it, like 14 seconds a foot or something? It's not very much.
No, it's
0.00429.
Okay.
0.004
429.
Where did I get 14?
4 thousandths
per foot.
4 1,000ths is it a second or of a minute, right? 4 1,000ths of a minute.
Of a minute, right.
So that's, like I said, over 400 feet.
It's 2.145 minutes. That's over the length of a football field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill, what's your take on how things are going to go? I mean, we've got, what, 4 working days before this thing starts?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bill's been awful quiet tonight. Is everything okay, Bill?
Well, I think we're getting distracted on the BS with the S99s and all that other stuff, and we're not focusing on the fact that a lot of these people are confused by the amount of information that's being provided, as well as misinformation.
Uh-huh.
On a Facebook chat today with the Rural Carrier Associates, somebody asked about a partial credit for your walking distances, and the thing of it is, it's all or none. There was a young lady, I think Misty, put on the page the exact wording. I put on there the Wrecs training page, and it's all or none, and you can get up to 5 credits a day. As far as for your mail. So if you're going to get normal credit, it's going to be for everything or nothing. It's not going to be, oh, we have enough clerks today, but we don't have enough tomorrow. And it can be voted on by the carriers in the office and voted office to office. But it's all or nothing, folks. You're either going to get it all the time or you're not going to get it all the time. And if you're not going to get it all the time, then you're going to be putting down wait time for them to get the clerks over to you.
Yep.
We have discrepancies in our office in regards to the missorted parcels. Kristen said there was a guy 10 feet away. Well, you can throw it to him, but that's the safety issue there.
Mm-hmm.
So
only if you throw it at him.
Well, what else would you do? I mean, if your name's Bill. But for us, they have a knocker set over by the supervisor's desk, which is 158 feet away from my case. So, okay, now we're going to set one up in our area. Okay, we're going to get time to that. There is no more 50-foot rule, folks. Mm-hmm. So therefore, we're going to get time for this. Now, currently, what I do? What's that?
I would say, and when they measure your distances, keep in mind it's from where you stand in the case.
In the center of the case, not the leading edge
in
anymore.
The center where you stand, where you are, where you physically stand to face your mail.
Okay, Josh.
Not at the end of the case.
Josh, we got it.
Josh,
We're not
we got
it.
Yes,
we
not
understand.
at the end of the case like the old
yes,
one.
Josh, we got it.
We understand. It's from where you stand the case you're mailed. Okay?
Yep.
The center of your case. So, you're going to have a knocker there. And then, it's funny because we got measured to the 3M case, which we don't use anymore, but that's okay. You're going to give us the extra 25 feet. We're fine with that, okay? But the thing of it is that there's so much information that a lot of people are confused as hell, and Wrecs needs a W in the front of it because I think this is going to be a total wreck. I really do. The management has no idea. The supervisor in our office had to get the measurements done by close of business Friday. Well, now you have till next Friday to get it done. But somebody in district wanted it done by this Friday to make it look good. And you were screwing it up. Like I said, she wasn't going to give credit to a guy who walks mail and parcels, 500 and some feet for the prison every day because it's not that kind of count. That's right, lady. It's not that kind of count. It's a survey. And that's why we have the miscellaneous column where you can put an explanation in for that carrier's duties of the day.
Yep.
That's the management is so ill prepared for this. It's ridiculous. The carriers who are misinformed don't know what to do. Don't even do the 6 scans every day. It's going to be a clusterfuck of major proportions. It really is. And we've had 6 months, folks, 6 months since September when they told us it wasn't going to happen in September to get this shit straight. And again, management waited to the last minute. The union waited to the last minute. The information getting to the carriers, last minute. What they're telling you guys at your training sessions is different from what they're telling us at our training sessions. Because if there's bundled lettered mail in a tub of flats, I want them counted as flats because we were told everything in the tub is a flat.
Yep.
Okay? Everything in a hamper is a parcel. I want everything counted as a parcel. And if you want to dispute that, we have our training on video.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And this is the problem across the board. We have a rural carrier specialist who used to be in our district, who is now based down in Washington. He's national now, okay? And he's been traveling up and down the East Coast correcting these things. This is the guy who put 48 houses onto a K48 route, 3.5 miles away from the end of the route. And then would have that carrier drive 2.5 miles back to hit a 104 carriage house development that they passed on the way out to the first house. These are the people we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
The same guy has one route in our office going past the same mailbox 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is the inequity of intelligence that we're dealing with, because the ones who actually do know some stuff think they know everything. The ones who don't know enough stuff, they're the ones we work for every day.
Yep.
And the worst part of it is, I've got new people in my office that are confused, RCAs that are confused about the scans. I've got people who've been there for years confused about the scans. Why? Because they don't pay attention, they don't read their magazines, or they're not in the union. And then they want to come to me for answers about the questions they have. Well, folks, all this stuff is online.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a union member. That's your fault, not mine.
That's a your problem.
Yeah.
Here, Bill. Here's something directly to your point. Okay, it's this Facebook group. This is in the Wrecs Facebook group, and somebody was posting about, okay, so the letters you pull out of your DPS, okay, your UBM, your 3M, your forwards, your markups, all that stuff. You get a piece count for if you take your DPS to the street, you get a piece count for all of that stuff. Am I correct?
You are correct.
Yes.
So all of your forwards, all your IA, all your UBM, all your vacation holds,
all your throwbacks, all your holds, everything.
Okay. And then you get and then of course the upside down and backwards ones is the one for every 4 credit.
Correct.
So there's an argument going on. Well, it's amazing how these conversations will digress. The question was, if you're off, can you come in and observe? You come in and observe? And that's always been the case. And then it got into a conversation about one guy saying that no, you don't get credit for markups. And I said, yes, you do. It's a piece credit. I didn't say it, but I'm like, you have one guy saying no, it's just for 3M mail, and so it's no, you get for your markups too. He said no, you don't, and so the typical Facebook argument. So
you get a piece count for any GPS error.
Yeah,
which is anything that you're not delivering.
We understand, Josh. We understand. Okay,
we
once
understand.
You say any DPS error, if it's a DPS error, it's a DPS error. Doesn't matter what it's titled as. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep the conversation simple so that people don't try to remember every freaking thing. If it's in the DPS and it doesn't belong there, it's an error. Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, because you were making the point that people are either getting different information in different places, and I just found something that was making making your point.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing of it is that I have an ADR who was on the postmaster's phone talking to me on Thursday. about how many times he goes back to withdrawal mail. And he's arguing. And I said, don't worry about it, Tim. It's taken care of. Don't worry, Tim. It's taken care of. But he wanted to press the point. And I said, Tim, don't worry about it. And then I hear, oh. And then I explained to him in a different phone call later on that you get up to 5 withdrawals. Oh, okay. I didn't know what you were talking about. It's in the Wrecs program that you've attended, that you've been dealing with district for a year now, and you didn't know that? For God's sakes, if he doesn't know it, how the hell's the ordinary person going to know it?
Yeah.
Wow, I know what post you're talking about in that group. And this whole argument, there's an office that doesn't even want RCAs doing any type of anything. What did she say? I can't, because they said something about the RCAs working their day. She says they're working the regulars. They shouldn't be putting things in UBM or markup. Leave it for carrier review. The regular knows who is forwarded. Move left, no forward, UTF, etc. That is all. And there was somebody who said that RCAs aren't allowed to do any of that. Do you want a new RCA forwarding or returning mail when they have no idea? Subs are not allowed to return or forward any mail in our office for the first year. What the hell?
Wow. And where the hell did you read that one at, folks? You know?
How is an RCA, how is that person supposed to learn if they're not allowed to do it? I'm sorry. I guess being a veteran RCA, and I do say a veteran because it's, I'm 8 years and counting right now. Yep. I know some of the stuff better than some of my long-term regulars in my office.
I will tell you this from my office. I have regular carriers who, some of my fellow regular carriers, who basically say, I don't know any of the names on my route. I just deliver to the address. And that's all they do. They don't read any of the names. And I'm like, so what do you do about forwards? Oh, well, if they throw it back to me and say they don't live here, then I deal with it. Like, that's not how I was trained.
No,
and
meaning,
I will tell you, I may not. Just let me finish real quick, Kristen.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I may not know every name on my route, but I can recognize the ones that, God, I've never seen this name. And it's associated by CBU, and it's like, I've never seen this name at this CBU, and I know those ones. And I know quite a few. I would say I know maybe 90%, but and then I just play, well, when in doubt, deliver, and they'll tell me if they don't. That's what I did most of the first year, especially at Christmas. So anyway, go ahead, Kristen. I'm sorry.
No, and I'm just saying, being a veteran RCA and having run many routes in multiple offices, but in the last going on 4.5 years in the office I'm in now, and knowing all 6 routes, I mean, seven technically, but grant you, I know 2 of them I don't know as well as I know the rest of them, because I've only been running those for the last year, 6 months to a year. But the rest of them, I mean, I know who forwards out, about what time they usually forward out for the winter, the seasonals, and when they come back. And a lot of that comes with, being around for a while. But if you don't train the RCAs into recognizing forwards, and you don't mark your case properly for forwards and holds, then how are they going to learn? Exactly. That's. I mean, I have gone through and corrected regulars. If I know I have a newer RCA that's running a route and that case doesn't have the forwards marked properly because, they haven't had a sub in forever, and I know that route like the back of my hand and who leaves when and who's on vacation, so I know what does it or how it works. But if I know that, I got a new RCA coming in and learning that route, I'm going to make sure that those cases are properly marked with those that the regular forgot to put up. I've got one regular who hardly marks half her forwards and stuff, but I know they're forwarded out because I know who the seasonals are. And yeah, it's just, you got to train, and that comes back down to training. But yeah, a lot of people are going to get wake-up calls that aren't doing things the way they're supposed to be doing them when the new evaluations come down.
Let me give you a little story from Saturday.
Sure.
Where they had two people shadowing, including a guy who's 70 years old and didn't realize how hard we worked. Okay.
Yeah.
He tells the carrier he's driving with, he says, you know, you take all these boxes up to the door. He says, is everybody supposed to do that? And she goes, oh, yeah. He goes, well, my carrier doesn't. She said, well, it must be a city carrier. He goes, no, it's a rural carrier. She goes, are you sure? He goes, yeah, it's a short little black guy. And so the carrier says to him, well, where do you live? And he says, such and such in that street. And she goes, oh, I know that carrier. And she goes, well, why does he rubber band small ones to the mailbox and throw the big ones at the post? If you don't train them right, they'll never learn, folks.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, it's not hard. You're going to get out of your RCA that you're training for your route what you put into training them.
Yes.
Yep, exactly.
And if you do a shit job, you'll get a shit job. And guess what? That'll be reflected back on your damn count mini mail survey because of the fact that they're going to put as much effort into it as you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe it's good then that my last RCA transferred to another office, so I'll probably be working all 6 days anyway.
I'm actually off the first and second weekends of March, so I'm off the second and I'm actually off that middle weekend during count, but I'm not overly worried about it, I hope.
Yeah.
As being the steward, I won't be there, but you know, I'm not really worried about my aux route. I did have to put a carrier alert marker in one of my seasonal forward boxes because for some reason he didn't pay attention to the case that it was a forward, even though it's clearly marked a forward. And he delivered medication to the box. And so as I am was getting near to the last box on the route, supervisor calls me and says, hey, is such and such address forward, right? I said, yeah. She says, I think he delivered meds there yesterday. And it's all the way back towards the beginning of the route. I'm like, all right, I'll turn around and go grab it. And so when I ran it the next day, I had to put a carrier alert card in that box just because, you know, she's gone until April or May. You know, she wants her meds forwarded to where she's at.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Right? Obviously she called and saw that they were delivered and not forwarded, so yeah, but yeah, that comes down to training.
To help solve that problem, I have one customer, I guess for when I'm off, they're just swinging mail. I have one customer, whenever they go on hold, which is fairly often, he started using electrical tape and taping, like if you open the door, the inside of the box is taped shut. And he has his copy of the hold card sitting there, taped up, so you can't even fling anything in there.
Well, I've got carriers that do things to their own. I've got one that they cut the bottom off the yellow hold card in the office because for where we put our hold mail, it sits in the little slot where the hold card is easier. The way ours are set up, which we all hate anyways, but besides the point. She writes hold on it on the back side of it and she sticks it in that box. So if there is somebody else that's running it, you know, they open that box and they see that it is on hold. Or she puts a yellow or bright neon yellow poster board that she cut down into like parcel marker size for her forwards in the box. I've got the other one who does carrier alert markers in all her forwards And her vacant boxes, she actually went through and put blue stickers on the outside of the vacant boxes. That way you see it when you're on the road. You know. So
Well,
we've got a few of those that do the, go above and beyond the little extra, but
I'm talking like I have at my apartment complex in the CBU the red bacon cards
mm-hmm.
for for the new customer to fill out, saying what their name is and when they moved in. I have those in all the boxes that I don't deliver mail to. And I'll come back sometimes after being off a day and
Mail
there's
stacked up on
letters
it.
flung in on top of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I will, when I put them in, I fold it so the small section that says vacant is that's flapped up inside the box. So yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how evaluations will come out. Like I said, for those that aren't or like it has been said, not necessarily that I said, but I know, like Bill said, Josh and Mike, we've all said it, that if you're not doing any more than the 6 required scans, you're not getting that credit for that extra stuff you do out there. Those extra trips to the doors. And I know I'm the one that's guilty. It always forgets about the postage due scan. I've been trying to remember that one because we get quite a few of those in our office, actually. Those little things. And when you're training RCAs on that, I get the new ones are going to miss a lot of the extra ones. But, I carry all the routes in the office. So I try to make sure that I get all those extra ones in as much as possible. It's, that's my pay too. Whether
But,
that's a
like
9-hour route or an 8-hour route or a 7.5-hour route, if I'm not pushing 40 hours that week, which I can't tell you the last time I was under 40 hours in a week, that's my pay too. As much as it is the regulars, that's the RCA's pay too.
And like Bill said it last week or the week before, if you don't know, concentrate on 3 or 4. Learn it, and then once you get those 3 or 4 down pat, and and learn them and what they're for, and you actually are using them, add another 2 or 3, and then add another 2 or 3.
But I think the unscannable parcel and the trips to the door are the big 2 right there.
Yeah, they're going to be the most common.
But as I keep telling people, as I keep saying, the one I have the most trouble with, believe it or not, is depart to route.
No, I don't have a problem with that one.
I got a 2-mile deadhead to the start of my route from my office, and the number of times I've been out of the office driveway on the road, getting ready to make the turn, and say, "Oh crap! I forgot to do that. I forgot to do R8."
No, yeah,
and that's the other thing.
It's always R8 and write that time on the 4240 and out the door I go.
Yep.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I don't miss that one because I start my load, I end my load, and then once I get myself situated, I do that, and then going to scan my mileage as I'm walking to the truck. For the reason, because I don't want to have to go to scan, come out of scan, go back to the rural entries, come out of that, and then go back into scan.
Well, most of our trucks, with the exception, I think, of one, all have a depart to route scan barcode actually in the truck. Same with a return to delivery unit. Every truck has a return to delivery unit scan in the truck. So that part, that's easy. Like I said, I hit that depart to route button. I write the time down on the 4240, and then when I get to the truck, that's when I scan the truck. And then when I get back, I hit the return to unit, and then I do the return to delivery truck scan.
No. Do the return to delivery unit first.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Then you do the return to the unit for the mileage one.
Yep. That's what I do.
Okay. Yeah. People were doing that in our office incorrectly. They were driving up to the dock and dismounting, putting their collection mail up there and everything, and then driving back to the parking space and then hitting the return to DU.
No.
I said no.
No.
As soon as you pull up, as soon as you enter the property. I'm sorry, I'm explaining this, Josh. As soon as you pull up, I said whether you park it in your spot and take the mail up, whether you park it at the dock, as soon as you park it, you hit return to DU.
Mm-hmm.
That's when your clock starts.
Yeah, and when I'm POV, as soon as I pull into the lot and park my car, that's when I hit the return to DU before I even get out of the car to get equipment and return mail and everything else out of it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and like I said, I've explained this 4 or 5 times, to people, and then an hour later somebody will come by and ask, which one do we hit? Right in your face. That's where you're going to get hit. Dumbass.
I just got to make sure that, a lot of times if I have a lot to bring in or something else is going on or whatever, and I hit that return to unit and then I walk in, shit, what time did I hit return to unit? So I don't remember it, and I'll be like, hey, I forgot what time I hit return to unit. And usually my supervisor or whoever's sitting at the desk that day is like, that's all right, I'll look it up for you. Okay, cool. But yeah, it's return to unit and then the truck scan.
Well, that's why everybody ought to be a smoker.
Yeah.
Because when I return to DU, I pull my cigarette pack out and I write the time on it, look down, write the mileage on it. I don't have to.
Okay. When I get home I'll say, hey, hun, I've been given permission to start smoking again so that I have a scratch pad to write stuff down. Bill May said I could do this.
It's authorized by a local steward.
Yeah, authorized. It's not my local steward, but that doesn't matter.
No, you don't say that. You just say a local.
A local steward. So, yeah. And I will tell you how well that will go over. Does the term lead balloon describe it well enough?
So what you're saying is, if you're not here next Sunday, don't be surprised.
The first thing she'll say is, why are you writing in rolling papers?
Well, because my other local steward said that.
Hey, now.
Hey, another
Here
local steward.
comes the bus. Here goes Kristen.
Mike is driving the bus tonight, isn't he?
Yes.
And Bill and I are the speed bumps.
Good. Oh, God. All right. I'm glad we gave somebody a laugh tonight.
But no, yeah, it's like I said, we have the depart to route and return to unit truck scan. The mileage scans are actually, the barcodes are in our truck, so that helps. Unless we're having a VMF vehicle, and then I have to write that shit on my hand so I remember it when I scan it at the door when I'm walking in. But yeah.
Yeah, well, ours is on the cork board, which is right inside the swinging doors. But my truck is the second closest to the doors, so.
So
Yeah.
what?
Okay, so I only have to. I only have to remember that mileage for 30 seconds.
I'm usually
45
still
seconds at most.
listening to my podcast and my earphones while I'm not this I don't listen to this podcast on the route. But whatever I'm listening to is usually still in my ear as I'm walking in the door, so I don't technically normally remember that many numbers all at once. But like I said, luckily our scans are in our trucks, which they should be. I mean, it makes so much more sense. But yeah, so there you go, people. Have them print off the truck scan codes and put them inside the door, and so you can just scan it on when you get in the truck on your way out to the route. Makes it so much easier.
Should they put that with the flip book of the Wrecs scans that we should have with us? Oh
God, no! I don't even get where some of these offices are actually passing them out. Where I don't understand.
Carriers who are saying this works, and I'm like, I don't know.
Anybody can create a barcode to connect it to anything. I used to own a business. I used to make barcodes all the time for, to scan for the crap that I sold. But it's not that difficult to hit escape, R, and then whatever you're looking for. And if it's something you use all the time, usually you remember what the hotkey is for it. R6,
I still
R7,
I still
R8.
scroll through and tap it because my fat fingers, don't hit the right letter on the keyboard.
When I scroll through and tap it, I'm always tapping the wrong one. I go to hit end load and I hit start load again. No. I hotkey it.
I have better luck scrolling and tapping than I do trying to hit, because I kept trying to hit the J and would hit the L or K, which doesn't help either way.
No, it doesn't. So, anything else we want to discuss tonight? Obviously, we're not talking about last weekend's football game. Sorry, Bill.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
I did watch it. But,
I need a drink.
Make it a double. Anything else, or we want to start winding down for the night?
Why don't we start winding down? I think we've been on for about an hour.
Yes, we have, and Mike has a long day tomorrow.
I do.
You do.
Oh.
I am going to send you a text message when we get off here, Mike, about something, so just a heads up.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll understand why I send it to you privately.
Okay.
But on that note, Mike, why don't you go ahead and give us your final commentary for the evening?
Oh, my final comments for tonight are with this new system. Well, here's my comment, and I've made this before. I just think that at this point, where we are with this RX, we just got to rip the Band-Aid off and get started with it. If we wait for everything to be resolved and everything to be perfect, we'll be waiting another 10 years. Yep. We've been waiting this long. Carriers have been complaining about the old count system for as long as I've been at the post office, the 9 years I've been at the post office. I've heard about this engineering study since I started.
Yep.
And how it was supposed to be better. We got to pick a stepping off point. That stepping off point is February 25th. If you haven't educated yourself, if you refuse to educate yourself on this, then you have no one to blame for a bad evaluation than yourself. But we got to start sometime, and I think the good thing about this system is that we, at least initially, we have 6 months to, if it's bad now, you can correct the stuff and start building back up quickly. 6 months it'll be a little better, and then in another year it should be better. But we got to do it. So let's get started now. If you haven't been to your state or district's Zoom training or whatever training they're offering on the mail survey, go get it done. Ask your questions. The first Zoom meeting we had for our state, it was supposed to be 2 hours. It went almost 3. Our stewards were willing to answer questions. They were taking questions from the Zoom call, and then there were 2 or 3 other ADRs who were answering direct questions in the chat. So if your district, your state is doing that, then do this. Get yourself educated so you can get your route properly evaluated.
Josh, you may now take the podium.
I'm going to say follow, same as with what Mike was saying. North Carolina has done 2 of 3 of their Zoom meetings. The first one had 260 some people in it. It was scheduled 7 to 9. The DR took the very last question at 10:40. The second one, I had to jump out before it was over, and there was over 100 people in that one. I don't remember exactly what the number was. And they were doing in-person ones also in different areas of the state or district for people that wanted to go face-to-face. If you've been doing your scans, keep it up. If you find out that there's a scan that you haven't been doing that you should have been doing because you didn't realize it, well, unfortunately it's too late now, but like Mike said, in 6 months you'll recoup some of that. This time next year, you get the complete redemption on that. Try and have a good week, and hopefully everyone will fare well with the survey results.
Bill, it's your turn.
Yeah. My turn? Me, it's my turn. Oh my God, I love it.
The mic is yours.
No, I'm not.
Oh, Mike. Oh, I love Mike. Mike's mine. Oh, baby. You're also naughty.
They're not going to be able to handle us at National again this year, are they?
Give me a Mike cuddle at National.
Look forward to it, baby.
I'll throw you in the damn lake. Mike's correct. Don't worry about what's happening today, tomorrow, next week, the week after, the mail volumes, the parcel volumes. It's all going to average out over a period of time. Then it's adjusted again. And then it's adjusted in another 6 months. It's my view that we're going to drop approximately 3 to 4 hours on some of the overburdened routes. That's my thought. But, just because I was right before doesn't mean I'm going to be right again. Okay. Just educate yourselves, folks. Go on the national website. Do your homework with Wrecs. Quit asking questions where you can, stop wasting my time and do something on your own. Okay. I hate enabling people who don't take the time and effort to protect their job and their paycheck. Remember, if it doesn't go in the scanner, it doesn't go in your wallet or your purse. Do your job, period. Do it to the best of your ability. RCAs, train them up because it's their paycheck too. And explain that to them. If you screw up my paycheck, I'm going to bust you in the mouth.
Well,
can you say that? Hey, I can say it. I'm an asshole. I can say, hey, this is my time, okay? Back off.
just take it off property off the clock.
No, I want everybody to see it. Anyway, explain to them the importance of this, okay? We have enough lazy regulars. We don't need any more lazy RCAs. And what you do in putting in the effort of training them, I put it onto our general post, how I use my labels on my case to train them on what streets and what shelf and that. The better you train them, the better you have a future RCA. okay? For your route, for any route that'll help you out, and treat them with respect, okay? Because they get stepped on enough by management, they don't need us stepping on them too. But train them up. I want everybody, go out there. We have our Wrecs meeting tomorrow night, and I expect it to run long just like everybody else's. But folks, get on the damn thing. Learn something. Protect your job. Protect your income. Protect your future. I've got a year and 2 months left, basically, before I retire. So, I can just, blow in the wind, but I'm not like that. So if I'm willing to put the effort in, then you ought to be willing to put the effort in, because many of these people on this podcast and listening, you have a future. Okay. So do something, protect that investment. Go out there, have a good week, be safe. Remember, you're the most important delivery of the day. And when in doubt, file a grievance.
Thank you, Bill. And, I can repeat what everybody has just said, but I'm not going to. And it's one of those non-lazy RCAs. And I say that. I hold many hats, I've been an RCA for just over 8 years. I'm a local steward, mapping facilitator, OJT, or OJI, where the hell you call it anymore. This stuff is important. This is our job. This is our paycheck as much as it is the regulars. And educate yourself as much as possible. Like I said, it's all out there. It's on the union website. There's other forum boards that has the information on. It's there. It's within reach for everybody. And yeah, do what you have to do for your own paycheck. That's exactly what it boils down to, is this is our pay. So on that note, guys, we're going to wrap it up tonight. We should be back next weekend. And everybody have a good one.